What's up, guys? Chaz and Charlie, and today I'm going to be discussing when you smoke weed because you don't have any friends, or you use weed in place of your friends. And I'm talking from a male perspective, not saying women don't do these things as well, but I think typically when it's somebody who's a loner and smokes weed and uses weed as confidant, usually it's men. Again, not saying it's not a woman issue, but primarily it's men's that, yes, I did say men's that is doing this. So in our, common day society, especially with our younger generation growing up, men are less social now. They're playing video games. They're on their phones. They're, maybe are involved in online communities, but aren't really having a lot of face-to-face contact with male friends. And I can even observe, like, my oldest son, who's a teenager, almost adult, and he doesn't socialize like how I did when I was young. I wasn't I'm kind of an introvert now, but I did have friends. I did hang out. I did have a best friend. But it's common now for young men not to have friends, not to have best friends, not to actually hang out, but just kind of get their social fix from like online communities, whether they play video games, whether they're on Twitch, whatever kind of social media, but they don't hang out. They're not social. So I think we see a rise in things like porn, and things like video games, and things like weed more so than alcohol. Back in the day, you may see more rise in alcohol, but that's good that the kids aren't alcoholics now. They tend to not drink as much as we did, but they're replacing alcohol and cigarettes with weed and vapes. And weed in particular, I think, can cause men to stay in a certain position of being alone and being okay with it. Okay, because when we continuously smoke weed all day, every day, we tend to get content with where we are, what we're doing. You can be depressed about something, not feel the best about a certain situation. Then we get high, and then we see the good in everything, including our own situation. And we do this day in and day out. It causes us to not have any change in our life, not actually take steps to pursue change or do something different. So when we are men and we already don't have a lot of friends, because a lot of times now, I've made videos about people smoking weed because their close friends are smoking weed, or their friend groups smoke, or they don't want to seem like an outsider by being the lame, because who quits weed when everybody is doing it. But I think the issue of actually not having friends can actually probably equally contribute to you actually continuing to smoke weed or continuing to abuse weed. So when we're used to not hanging out, not meeting people, not putting ourselves in new situations, and then we're smoking, where smoking is familiar, smoking is easing our nerves, is calming our anxiety, making us feel comfortable. We're replacing weed with friends and even girlfriends. It's probably why that's not the reason why it's nicknamed Mary Jane, but I think because it does have a female nickname, it's because it does appeal to guys. Like I said, women are more naturally just inclined to have friends, to talk, to be social. That's just, even introvert girls still have at least one or two close female friends that they talk to. Women have to talk. Usually they have to talk. And men, we don't. We get used to being alone. We don't have to, or we think we don't have to socialize because we don't need as much as women. And when we're smoking weed and pacifying that, we're actually promoting us to be more loners, to not pursue friendships, to not actually be social, and to not put ourselves in awkward situations. Because sometimes meeting friends, putting yourself out there, even meeting women, I think not only men are not having friends, they're also not having girlfriends. They're not in romantic relationships. And I think in the rise of mental health and anxiety, they don't want to put themselves in awkward situations. I don't think meeting male friends should be awkward. I mean, I guess it can be. I think it is a more natural thing. But, when a generation is used to not meeting people, not putting themselves out there, and especially going through COVID, where it's another layer of people not socializing added to this generation. When you have this mentality, it is extremely awkward to meet friends, whether male or female. So, young men tend to not like this awkward feeling. Again, we're so big on anxiety and, being depressed and not feeling these comfortable thoughts. We don't like to embrace the feeling of being awkward. So, to avoid being awkward and to avoid being in this, not familiar, not comfortable situation, we'll just get high and just smoke weed and just be content and be confined with that. And that's a problem. It's actually causing you to not be social. And weed has always been, categorized as this social drug. Make you laugh, hang out with friends, you get to munch it, chill, laugh, and watch movies. But I think this generation is using weed to actually make them more antisocial. They're in their rooms, they're playing video games, they're on Twitch getting high. Getting high is helping them be more comfortable with being by themselves, whether promoting them to actually go out and hang out with your friends. So I do think we see a different use of weed and how it's affecting the youth versus how it did my generation and the one before me. So if you are a young man out here that, you want friends, you want a girlfriend, you want to be social, but you smoke weed every day, I would encourage you to try to cut the weed usage down, because the more you smoke, it's going to make you be content with where you are. It's going to make you content with not pursuing change, because that's the danger of weed. Weed can cure anxiety temporarily, or it can make you feel better, but it doesn't change anything. If we constantly just dope ourselves up and don't pursue any change, our lives are not going to get better. So it is a more dangerous, I won't say it's a more dangerous drug, but it can be more dangerous or as dangerous as, hard drugs for different reasons. It'll cause you to not put yourself out there in awkward situations. Now, if you probably, drink a lot or do hard drugs, you probably have the issue of putting yourselves in very awkward and very dangerous situation. So it's kind of like the extreme on both ends of the stick, where liquor may have you doing too much, weed may have you not doing enough. So I know people, that's not everybody. Some people can, smoke weed and, they'll say, weed makes me more social. Me personally, I think when I used to get high and be at work, I would tend to be more talkative. And then maybe let's debate on, whether it was an indica or sativa strand. And I think I noticed the older I got, if I was high, I was more prone to be more talkative. So, it worked different for me. But again, I didn't have that added layer of not being social, not having close friend groups, not putting myself out there like the young men of the day do. So, if you're young, you're out here, you want friends, and you smoke a lot of weed, try cutting back on the weed and put yourself in situations where you can meet friends, meet girlfriends. Because ultimately, even men, we're not as social as women. Ultimately, we still are social beings. We want friends. We want to be around people. So, yeah. So until next time, guys, please like, subscribe, share. Most importantly, I want you to comment below. Maybe you have a different take on what I just said. I don't know. But until next time, guys, like, subscribe, share. And remember, we are all in this together. Peace.
Waking up in haze, eyes glued like molasses. Cloud high, falling, time to get through classes. No more puffing green, cut ties like actors. Back to real life, hell of a chapter. Quit the haze, get my mind straight. No more greasy, clear fate. Grinding hard, gotta chase dreams. Break the chains, hear the cage screams. In a cloud of smoke, my vision been lazy. Feels like forever, time to act crazy. Strength in me rising, no more lazy daisy. Focus on my path, swift like Miss Daisy. Quit the haze, get my mind straight. No more greasy, clear fate. Grinding hard, gotta chase dreams. Break the chains, hear the cage screams. Puffin' was an anchor, pulled me below. Now I'm getting high off beats in the glow. Clarity and night stars got a better show. Left that behind, felt the growth, Quit the haze, get my mind straight. No more greasy, clear fate.